Hey, welcome back. So on this video, I'm gonna just do kind of a comparison slash breakdown of two different vehicles. You might even ask yourself, why would you compare the two of those together? They're nothing alike. And yeah, you might be right in saying that. And so maybe you can tell me what you think of comparing these two. So one of them is a dated kind of dinosaur, but it's honestly a sought after vehicle. And that's the GX470. So the GX470 and the RX450H, right? One is a 2007 over there, the GX. I've had it for like 2 or 3 years now. And my newest vehicle, the RX450H. Okay, I'm gonna turn around the camera and talk about it a little bit more with the sun not directly in my eyes. And here we go. There'll be a lot of shadows just because the sun is starting to set. So just bear with me. Hold tight. I'll kind of cover a variety of different things. Okay, so if for any reason you're looking at one or both of these and you're saying, oh, this is the kind of vehicle I should get. So if you already know, this is dated, right? This is an old dated vehicle. It's heavy. Some would say it's good looking. Some would say it's not. If you want to go off-roading, this would be the better vehicle than a 450H for sure. This has a center locking differential, all-wheel drive. It's pretty fantastic all around. Inside, it's so dated when it comes to technology and things working properly, but if you don't care about that stuff, then it's a non-issue. I don't really care about that kind of stuff too much. The navigation works, but it's very hit or miss. Bluetooth is fine. What else? It doesn't play your music through Bluetooth though. Steering wheel controls, all that stuff is fine. The layout of things, I mean, this was a luxury vehicle for its time. I wouldn't say that it's so much a luxury vehicle now. This is more of a vehicle sought after for people who want to modify it and make it an off-road rig or just want a reliable Lexus, right? It's a pig on gas. The maximum I've ever gotten is about 18 miles a gallon. In contrast, you've got an RX. Now, obviously people who have been or would be watching this video already know what an RX is. You've either got a 350 or got a 400. This is a 450H. I've only had it for a short period of time. I like the way it drives. It's definitely just a crossover SUV. It does actually do okay in the snow, believe it or not. I was very surprised. Inside, you've got, you know, so-so styling, honestly. It's nothing to write home about. The onboard screen up here that is operated by that guy is pretty user-friendly. Controls are way newer than the other one in the sense that if you press the button to do speech and try to tell it to do something, it actually works. Whereas that one in the GX, not so much. There's a couple funky things styling wise that you could say they kind of blew it in this thing. Like the EV mode, right? You press this button to just do EV. Well, that only works like once in a blue moon. It gives you all these kinds of error messages as to why it can't do it. And it's really annoying. I'd also be asking me, well, why are you making a video comparing and contrasting two vehicles that aren't likely to be sought by a buyer to buy one or the other? This is more modern, crossover, mom SUV, more, I would say, a guy SUV, honestly. You're higher up in it, as you can tell. And so I don't know. I think the problem is that I like both. I've been driving this around, getting great gas mileage, and it's really nice to get. I gotta say, it just can't be beat. I don't know, 27 is what I'm kind of getting. They advertise somewhere around 29, 30. Yeah, I don't think so. Not so much. Especially if you use it in sport mode, which is the mode you want to use it in, which actually makes it drivable. Now, the GX. Let's go back to that. The GX is awesome. It's a do-it-all type of vehicle, pretty much. The only thing it suffers from, obviously, is some dated technology as well as horrible gas mileage. If you don't care about gas mileage at all, because you don't drive that much, or when you do drive, it's not a big deal, then driving this thing around will feel just fine. You feel it with the V8 engine, which is nice. It's got a lot of get up and go to me, you know, for its age. In the back here, you know, the door swings this way, as most of you guys know. And I would say, some people would say it's a little annoying, and others would be like, it's no big deal. Obviously, plenty of space, more than you really need. The thing I can't decide on for myself, and I welcome people to chime in, is basically, do I want a car on the left with a small payment that I can pay off pretty shortly just by selling this? On the right, the GX, or, and this would be good long term, it's only got 90,000 miles on it, runs great, or go with the old school that just does the trick, but you're never going to get good gas mileage, you're always going to spend more. The one thing I have noticed about these RXs, and I don't think it's because of the owner before me, because it was like a grandma, is that they are a little bit rattle boxes. I gotta say, there are more things that rattle in this thing that I've had to look at to try to fix than I've ever seen on this thing. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's build quality or someone just driving down dirt roads too much or things like that. But I will say that's kind of annoying to have to fix those kinds of things. This is loaded with electronics, and with electronics and more modern stuff like the hybrid system, you are likely to incur some more expensive fixes. More expensive fixes I just found out for this RX450 is that every 60,000 miles you need to do the spark plugs, right? Well, to get at the spark plugs, I watched a video on it, was insane amount of work to change out 4 spark plugs. If you want to pay a company to do it, probably a $500 job is what it looked like. That's what they were estimating online. That's a lot just to do some routine maintenance stuff. And so with that, I'm kind of questioning, is it going to cost me more in the long run? You go to have a vehicle that gets better gas mileage, but now you go to do fixes and stuff like that, and it's costly. So I'm trying to find out, like, is it actually cost effective to own this vehicle versus just an old GX, and just drive it around till it dies. If you've done your research at all on these ones, you'll see people driving these things 200, 220, 250, 300,000 miles on them already, and they just keep going, and I just can't believe it. I am in different groups where people talk about this vehicle all the time, which is pretty cool. I like to see what people have to fix on it. I also like to see, you know, how long people have been driving them for, and they are just dang reliable, it seems like. It has been a while, but I did own an RX that was a 1999 RX, whatever they called it back then, 350 or 300, probably 300, and it seemed good, and then it had transmission issues, and then it was basically a lemon, and I was kind of like, ooh, maybe I'll never buy one of those again. But obviously I've changed my mind, and I have bought one. So, but a 450H. So the hybrid system seems to be working just fine. It seems like the battery will last a long time. Everybody has said who's had anything that's Toyota, Lexus hybrid related. So that eases my mind a bit, and I'm happy to hear that. I just don't know if it's a great enough all-around vehicle. Tow capacity is only 3,500, as most people know, versus like a GX, which is 5,000. So if you're looking to tow something, you might struggle a little bit more. So let me just extend this out. So that's, I know I haven't really driven it around. That hasn't really given you kind of input on that part. I can show more videos of the inside. If you're into new tech, this is definitely the way to go. I mean, you feel like you're driving a car though. So you feel like you're driving a Venza or something like that. It's definitely lower to the ground. A button to open up the hatch on your remote, and back here and inside, so that's all automatic. Mirrors that can fold in, that's neato burrito. Steering wheel controls, everything on it that you would think would be on the steering wheel controls. Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff, everything you would expect. And this is a 2013, so even a newer one I'm sure is going to be even better. I think I've seen the newer ones that have screens right up here, almost like a Tesla. So it's just made a little bit nicer. Leather, everything like that is pretty much the same as in a GX, I gotta say. Like, there's nothing really different, to be honest. Sound system in this thing is just mediocre, to be honest. If you try to move the sound to the back of the vehicle where the sub should be, it does not produce a good sub. unless you move the speakers towards the front. Then you can kind of hear the bass, which is really different and kind of troubling. So I don't understand that. What else can I tell you about it? It's just a smooth, nice car ride. That's what I do like about it. Super quiet. Obviously, in my other video, I talked about it having a CVT transmission. And some people, that is a deal breaker. If it's not for you, it's okay. I would say it's like adequate power. It's like driving an Avalon. Avalon's probably faster, to be honest. And, you know, I wouldn't say that's underpowered, an RX450H. But it's not going to win any races, to be honest. Even in the kind of sporty mode, it gets up, it passes people, but you feel like you're driving a car. It's nothing special. So anyone that tells you that these are fast is lying to you. The CVT transmission, I don't know. It's fine. You don't feel any shifting, which is just kind of different. I would say it's a little bit louder, the transmission. Not like under normal. Like, remember I just said it was quiet? I would say if you're gunning it and trying to really get going from 0 to 60, yeah, it's a little bit louder. I was a little bit kind of surprised by that. I was kind of like, I was hoping it'd be really, really quiet. So, not my favorite thing. But I guess my problem is that I love this vehicle so much. Like, I drive it, and when I drive it, I'm happy driving it. It doesn't even matter that it's old. Being higher up, knowing that you can get across a curb, snow, everything, and it will just survive it with just slightly off-road tires. You don't have to put a lift on it. I'm like trying to talk myself into loving the RX. And to be honest, I don't love it. I like it, but I don't love it. It's nice. I feel like I'm driving a car again, which is nothing special. You know, I kind of feel domesticated driving it. Whereas, like, you drive in a GX, you kind of feel like you're driving a truck. It's just a little bit rougher like that. Suspension's fine. It's not like it's a rough ride or anything like that. But I would say you just feel like you're driving a real SUV, whereas here you feel like you're driving, yeah, your mom's like a station wagon or something like that. So if you don't mind that, then that's a great vehicle. And I think I'm trying to talk myself into loving this, even though it doesn't have that all-around feel to it. Will it do probably most everything that I need it to 95% of the time? Probably. But I do feel like I will miss this thing if I sell it. I will probably regret selling it. And I don't want to do that because these are hard to find that are in good condition with slightly lower miles. I say lower miles, like 150,000 is low, because finding anything under that these days is kind of a joke. Obviously, if you're looking at the GX460s, that's a different animal. I mean, yeah, they're the same platform as this GX, but a lot of people don't love the 460 like they love the 470. They say different things about them. I've driven them. They're okay. I almost bought one, and I opted not to. It didn't have the power I thought it was going to have. Being with a different engine, newer engine, it did not have the power. I was pretty disappointed. So, yeah, I think I am trying to talk myself into loving that 450H. But the reality is that this vehicle does everything, and I might end up selling this RX in the long run. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you have. Let me know any other comparison you want to see. I can get different vehicles from friends. Obviously, I did not include a Toyota 4Runner in here. I don't think it's even in the same class. I've owned a 5th gen 4Runner, and I sold it after, 9 months of having it. And it was an off-road edition. It was decked out. It was nice. The Toyota 4Runner is just dated and it's old. If you want a vehicle to modify, sure, you can get a 4Runner. Are they basic? Are they underpowered? Are they underwhelming in every way? Absolutely. Will it be reliable and take you places off-road? Sure. So if that's really what you want, then look at a 4Runner. But I was almost going to bring one over just to put it as part of the video series or whatever, the review, but because I have a couple friends that have them right around the corner. But I just don't even think that they're on par. They're like they're not even nice inside, to be honest. I don't even care if you get leather. They're just not that nice. I wouldn't buy one, but that's just me. So anyway, there's my review of 2 different vehicles. Yeah, you can look at other reviews to see how they drive and people's opinions and stuff on that. People that don't own the vehicles but are out test driving cars, that's a joke, because they don't own it. They don't really know what it's like to own it. Taking it out for 2 hours and made a video on it, that's such garbage. So you don't know anything. So it makes me laugh when I see these video series, or off-road, Motor Trend, anything like that. They're just funny. So anyway, have a great day.